I'm DNC member Andre Triber, and I like Progress Texas because they fight for our future.
It's Wednesday, March 19th, 2025, and this is the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch, rapid response on the breaking news stories Texas progressives need to know. I'm Chris Mosier. The first arrests of individual healthcare workers related to Texas's abortion ban remain front and center this morning. Daniela Hurtado at ABC 13 TV in Houston says a third arrest in the case has been reported. Nurse practitioner Rubildo Matos, he's been charged with conspiracy to practice medicine without a license. Court documents released yesterday show that an as-yet unnamed source tipped off Ken Paxton's office claiming that Maria Rojas, the midwife who operates the chain of clinics in question, had been conducting abortions on a cash-only basis, charging between $800 and $1,300. One patient identified by investigators says she had sought abortion care after learning that her pregnancy had a very slim chance of being successful and being warned by her doctors of the strong chance of serious complications. Andrea Gonzalez Ramirez, writing for New York Magazine's fashion titled The Cut, elaborates that this patient, identified in affidavits as EG, told investigators that she had unexpectedly become pregnant after delivering twins via C-section just 6 months prior, and that she had sought abortion care at Rojas's clinic on the advice of her doctor, and that care had come in the form of 2 doses of misoprostol. Let's be clear here. Maria Rojas and her staff are being targeted for providing medically necessary abortion care that Texas doctors should be able to provide themselves in such circumstances. Gonzalez Ramirez talked to Mark Herron with the Center for Reproductive Rights, which, as you'll recall, represented Amanda Zarowski, Kate Cox, and the other plaintiffs seeking to clarify Texas's abortion ban exceptions in the Zarowski v. Texas case. Herron says there remain many unknowns surrounding this case. He says, quote, "The thing about the ban's criminal penalty is it makes it a first-degree felony if the abortion was successful, but the press release says that she was charged with the illegal performance of an abortion, a second-degree felony. So it's not clear why she would have been charged with that," unquote. Mary Ziegler at Slate notes that Ken Paxton's choice of a midwife who serves a mostly lower-income and Spanish-speaking community for targeting in this way is likely meant not only to frighten those patients in particular, it's also meant to discredit the very practice of midwifery as somehow unsafe, unqualified, and dishonest, harkening back to similar moves targeting midwives by law enforcement in the dark days before Roe v. Wade, days to which, in a very real sense, we have returned. Kimberly Mutcherson, a professor at Rutgers Law School who specializes in reproductive justice, bioethics, and family and health law, believes this is only the beginning, saying, quote, "The next line of attack that we're going to see is women being prosecuted for their own abortions, whether it's self-managed abortion or if they go out of state. We're at the tip of the iceberg, and it's only going to get worse from here," unquote. But even in the face of overzealous law enforcement, the time to be loud about this is now. Silence is complicity, and complicity is defeat for the right of Texas women to control their own bodies and their own futures. The encroachment of the self-righteous MAGA minorities' moralities into the lives of the rest of us underlines this next bit as well. CBS News Texas says 2 bills passed in the state Senate yesterday bring us one step closer to Christian doctrine in public school classrooms. The GOP majority in the Senate passed SB 11 yesterday. That allows Texas ISDs to establish a period in the school day in which students are expected to pray and read religious texts. They also gave initial approval to SB 10, which would require public schools to display the 10 Commandments in every classroom. Final passage of that bill is expected today. Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick has named both of these bills high priorities. Next stop for both, the Texas House. The measles story refuses to go away. Stephen Artery at Fox 4 News in Dallas says the Texas Department of State Health Services reported an additional 20 cases of measles yesterday. That brings our state total to 279, including 36 resulting in hospitalizations. Nearly all of these new cases in the epicenter of Gaines County, and all in unvaccinated people. Outside of Gaines, we've seen 36 cases in nearby Terry County, 11 each in Yoakum and Dawson counties, and less than 10 each so far in Lubbock, Lynn, Ector, Dallam, Martin, Cochran, and Lamar counties. Notably, of the 279 cases in Texas, only 2 appear to have affected vaccinated people, which tells us that, amazingly, vaccines appear to work. Helen Branswell, writing for the health journal Stat, says we've likely a long way to go before the measles outbreak is contained, perhaps a year or perhaps more. In that case, the United States, the entire country, will lose its status as a nation that has achieved measles elimination, and the disease will officially be considered endemic again in America, a shameful designation that we've avoided now for a quarter of a century. As we wind down, more shadowy shit from Texas state officials who apparently have been collecting information on transgender drivers. Lauren McGowie at KUT in the Texas newsroom says employees with the Department of Public Safety have been recording each time a driver requested to change the sex listed on their license, scanning and saving that driver's information and sending that to an internal email account created specifically for these reports. This has happened at least 42 times in the last several months, as far as McGowie's been able to ascertain, and people who have simply asked questions about how to make these changes to their IDs have been reported as well, even if they made no formal request to do so. All the while, complete mystery surrounds the question of why this data is being documented. The Texas newsroom reached out to DPS officials and state leaders, including Ken Paxton and Governor Abbott, about this organized collection of data on trans Texans, but none answered questions about how the data is being used or why it's being stored. March is Women's History Month, and Progress Texas Advocacy Associate Tatum Owens has put together a great rundown in celebration of the enormous breakthroughs Texas women have accomplished, as well as an analysis of why Texas remains among the worst states in which to live for women. Plus the full list of Women's History Month events happening across the state. See that rundown at ProgressTexas.org. Our mission at Progress Texas is to counter the conservative disinformation machine, but they far outmatch us in funding. Oil and tech billionaires and religious right-wing activist groups spend a lot of money keeping their audiences in the dark. And if you've come to appreciate the light we shine on important political news in Texas on a daily, ongoing basis, please know that our regular, everyday listeners form a key component of our funding. If that's you, we could use your support as a monthly contributor, and no amount is too small. Go to ProgressTexas.org/donate. Thanks so much to Sean Hayward, Thomas Green, and Darby Lockridge, all of whom are on the team. Thanks to all of y'all. And San Antonio friends, Progress Texas is Alamo City bound for the first time in a while for a live podcast taping and fundraising party on Tuesday, May the 6th. We look forward to a long overdue and fun get-together with y'all at our Party for Progress. Mark that date, once again, Tuesday, May 6th in San Antonio. Keep it here for more details. That's the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch for this Wednesday, March 19th, 2025. Links to all these original stories can be found in our show notes. Progress Texas is a nonprofit rapid response media organization promoting progressive messages and actions. While campaigns come and go, we're the permanent home for progressive media and action in the Lone Star State. I'm Chris Mosier. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day. We'll see you again tomorrow morning.